hey, okay, I don't like this because this is how this reacts, and this is kind of how I drive. Say I drive, I want to drive more of a looser car, but as soon as I get back under the throttle, the car just becomes really tight. It doesn't feel like it has a drive or anything else. Is it just because they don't have that knowledge yet, and they don't have that seat time in that car with, say, that bar? Talking to you, Matt. No, it's okay.
That I really can't stress enough how much I really think the type of bar isn't that big of a deal. It's about spending time on the phone with those guys, like you say, if they do call and they get one of our cars and they're having problems. It's not uncommon for Joel to give me dirty looks in the shop because I've been talking to a customer for 20 minutes about how their Saturday went. That's really what it comes down to is if those guys don't have that knowledge, don't try to handicap them by just throwing stuff at the car. Call them, talk to them, work through the problem, start at corner, start going down the backstretch and analyze everything that they're doing from their driving into the corner, through the middle and off, how the car gets through those conditions, what they're feeling, and then helping explain to them what changes you're making. It really is just about getting them to understand what the car is really doing and what the car really needs. So often you hear, "Oh man, I'm loose off. I'm loose off." Well, it's because we were, really tight in the center of the car and getting a ton of wheel. Okay, so most guys will fix the loose off. Don't look at that. Back the corner up, work through the steps, make it right. That's where we gotta go to make the cars fast.
We actually have Justin Duty calling in too. Give us 1 second. Maybe we can grab another call, please. So we're actually gonna have to end the call with Mike or with Matt if we need Justin Duty.
Well, let's get Justin in real quick, and Matt, we appreciate you calling in and talking racing with us, buddy. Is he there?
Sorry, breaking up. I couldn't hear you there.
Oh, okay. We actually had another caller calling in at the same time. We only have a couple minutes left and stuff, but we want to thank you so much, Matt. You have any sponsors you want to plug real quick?
Yeah, I got to thank them all. Obviously, Drager Performance is a huge part of my program in GRT race cars. Lavelle and the Thrive supplement, Hooligan Graphics and Apparel, Riverside Pet Crematory, Advanced Auto Parts, Amco Transmissions and Automotive, Eugene Mortgage Brokers, they're our newest sponsor, MD Designs, all my family, my brother, my grandma, my parents, Joel, everyone who comes out here and lends a hand, whether it be grinding tires or turning wrenches or showing up at the track and barbecuing in the pits. Everyone's a big part of my program, and I couldn't do it without them.
Well, in Moxie Media, and Jetstream Aqua Massage, of course, are there to help support Drager Performance and Matthew Drager Racing. So we want to thank you
Absolutely. I've had a few body jobs lately, and I need to get back in there for my my weekly routine.
You know where it's at. We've got your bed waiting for you, Matt.
Perfect. I'll see you later this week.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
See you, buddy.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks, bud. So we're actually going to have Justin Duty call back in.
Well, I was hoping he would call in because they just went back to Indiana and ran at Lawrenceburg, and I wanted to kind of get a wrap up of what happened with those guys this week. Justin, if you're listening, man, go ahead and shoot us another line. Give us a call, and let's talk about your trip real quick. We got 10, 12 minutes left on the show, but love to talk with those guys. And
absolutely, and it's cool to talk, to Matt about the different preference. I know, being with Kenny and being his crew chief and stuff for 4.5 years, we went through a lot of things. We went through that older TRE that he had a ton of success in, and we took that same stuff and put it into what was last year's and the year before in that Bone TRE, and just couldn't get it to work. I mean, that thing was just a pile, basically, when it came down to it. But it was because we found out later on that it was bent. So no matter what we did to it, and even after having it straightened, just couldn't. It almost discourages you because he's that much better than the car is.
Well, and here's the thing too is, you look at production runs on steel, it's all going to flex differently.
Right.
It's supposed to be the same. It's all going to flex differently. I mean, Matthew's chassis, and I call it the twin chassis. There's another one out here that is one chassis number off of Matt's. Those cars, you can throw the same setup under them, different drivers. They're going to be a little bit different.
Right.
They're not going to handle the way that each driver wants them to handle. So you've got to, and that's what I keep coming back to is you have to tune the car to your driver, tune them to their driving characteristics, how they enter, how they exit, where they want to run, what track are you running, what's the surface doing? I mean, there's all these things. So it's, unfortunately, it's not a clear-cut answer where I say, hey, this is what you need to go be fast. It's a process.
Well, and it is, and it's learning about what a driver likes, what a car likes, and putting that whole package together and melding it.
The only person that can probably do that, though, is Wayne Brooks.
He's kind of got an idea of what's going on.
That guy, he can just sit there and jump in a car, take a lap, and tell you exactly what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
That dude is insane.
That's a lot of experience too, though.
It really is.
But yeah, it's been a great show. We've got about 10 minutes left, and man, it's good to be back home. Hawaii was fun, but it is what it is, and it's back to work. And
trying to get a hold of Justin Duty now.
Well, I just wanted to chat with him real quick about his trip because they went back to Indiana, and they're getting ready to go to Knoxville.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that's a trip they make every year.
He must be trying to call us right now because he's it goes straight to voicemail. So
yeah, or they're working on their cars.
Yeah, and I've been up at their shop. It's a great shop, but sometimes the phone reception is not the best up there.
Yeah,
right.
So it's.
Well, if we don't get him tonight, we'll talk with him.
I'm sure you'll talk to him Saturday.
Oh yeah,
and probably Sunday too, with how that guy's been running.
It's going to be a great show. Sunset Speedway.
And that's the Iron Giant. I mean, let's talk about it because this is going to be. This is going to be something that, we don't see this a lot. A $3,000 to win street stock race.
Okay, so listen to this. When we talked to Chris Hine, and he came across and he said, "Hey, look, this is what this is," and blah blah. And I looked at Joel and I said, "Hold on," I had to repeat what he said. I'm like, $3,000 to win,
yeah,
and $1,000 for second,
yeah,
and just $100 just to start. And he goes,
$100 to start.
This is how calm he was. He goes, "Yeah, it's a $10,000 purse." We got Justin Duty calling in right now.
Justin, you're live on Northwest Dirt News with the Josh and I. Let's talk about your trip to Lawrenceburg, Indiana, sir.
How's it going, man?
Good, bud. How are you doing?
We're doing pretty good, getting home from a long trip to Indiana and getting things ready for Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. Let's talk about your experience back there running with some of those guys in the Midwest.
We actually didn't even go back there to race. We actually went back there to picked up a new hauler and brought it back and getting it. That's what we're in the process of right now, getting it ready for. We leave for Knoxville in 10 days. So
I could have swore I was told you guys were racing back there.
It's definitely an experience even watching them. They drive the wheels off of those cars. When 24 cars start the feature and 5 finish, it's
24 started and 5 finished.
Sure.
What?
Hold on. Okay.
24 started and 5 finished.
24 started the feature and 5 finished for $12,000 to win.
What? Wow. No, I saw some pictures that you posted. That track didn't look real big. It didn't look like a very big track.
It's actually deceiving. That place is huge, but it's banked to the moon. Like,
really?
You drive down the straightaway and drive uphill into the corners, and then you're like driving down a hill when you go down the backstretch. It's nuts.
Is it like a mini Bristol?
It's essentially a mini. I bet you it's the same size as Bristol. It may be a little smaller. I bet it's Elma size, but Bristol banked.
Wow. So what kind of lap times were we looking at in qualifying?
The carry there is outrageous.
What kind of qualifying lap times?
They broke the track record there at a 13.827. Bloomer broke it.
Wow.
13 seconds?
On it's a half-mile track.
That's you're like in between 3/8 and half mile. So at a 13.8, you're really moving. I think the average speed was over 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
Shut up.
That's
So your guys' new trailer, did you guys buy a double stacker?
We actually bought an S&S hauler, an older one, and it's a lift gate, 2 cars on top, garage, tire racks on the bottom. A lot like Maya's rig.
Sweet.
So it's something we've been wanting to do for a while now. The other trailer's awesome. I love it to death. It's a great trailer. For sale, by the way. Anybody looking for a
good plug there, Duty.
But we just need more space.
Well, with the traveling that you guys do.
Back east, I only have a tire rack that holds 6 late model tires in here, and with 2 cars, you can only have 6 wheels and tires.
Right.
So this new trailer we bought has tire racks in it. It holds 50 mounted wheels and tires. Reality of it is I'll never have that many wheels and tires. But
Did you just?
it's plenty of space.
Yeah, he said 50.
It'll get the job done and make traveling a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, no kidding. You're not kidding right there. So let's talk about because you guys do Knoxville every year. That is like you're racing against the best of the best in the dirt world. You were there last year. Let's talk about your experience and what you've gained this year and what you expect coming up at Knoxville this season.
Well, we actually didn't get to go back there this year due to motor problems when we were back east racing with them in I-80 in Nebraska last year. But we've been there. Dad's been there 9 out of the 11 times. This will be my second trip. It's a big racetrack. It's a momentum deal. You got to be able to turn. I mean, that's what all these race cars are about. If you can't turn, you're slow. I'm a big advocate of you make up your time in the corners, not down the straightaway, because I think you and I and the next guy can drag race just as good as each other. So
Sure.
That's right.
it's all a corner speed thing, and that's where if you don't have to lift, you're going to be fast. And it's not just because I've gone so many times. You can just sit and watch qualifying, and an average lap time around there, it is such a big racetrack. And by the time qualifying rolls around on Thursday, the track is almost up around the fence, and so you're like wall, and you're wide open. And the lap times are like 16.8, 16.9 around a 5/8 mile track essentially. And
That's awesome.
I mean, you're hauling the mail, and so if you lift for a split second, you can guarantee it's going to be at least a half a second on the clock. So you have to not lift.
Wow.
That's what those races are all about, and got to be able to make a turn. So, I think it's a big, going and racing on bigger tracks, it's a bummer on one hand because we don't race around that on that much here. But I think at the same hand, it's a huge advantage because you can get your car to turn on something like that, and when the corners are as long, I mean, you could probably fit Lebanon sideways in turns 1 and 2 at that place. I mean, it's so big.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It's all about getting that car to rotate, and that's kind of the name of the game in the dirt world right now. Because I mean, horsepower is horsepower, straightaways are straightaways, but you got to get through the corners. And and when you're racing against the best of the best, like he said, one little slip, and we experienced this at Eldora, where we went back in '96 and ran. We were in a half second. We were exactly a half second off fast time. Out of 86 cars, 86 we qualified 51st fast. 51 cars in a half second.
It's a split-second kind of game, unfortunately.
It is.
We went there. The first time I'd ever been there, I had no idea what to expect other than, everybody says don't lift. And,
Now, when you go to a
we
place
got on
like
the
that,
track and did high laps, and we did pretty good. I was okay with it, and then we went out qualifying. And the first night, actually, we were pretty good. The car turned, and we ended up 19th out of 65 cars the first night we were there. So
That's
we weren't
not bad
at all. I was pretty happy with it. It's just if you can learn how to tune your car and tune the right thing, a world of difference. And that's where I think people on the West Coast in general lack. I mean, they do it 4 or 5 nights a week, man. I mean, you can learn so much in 4 or 5 nights a week that we can.
yeah, they're racing 120 times a year to our 25.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see. We race Labor Day weekend, so that's 2 days. I'll go back to Knoxville and race 3 nights, which guys around here won't get, and then I'll be back for the 25th for the last race at Lebanon. So that's 5 races. I'll have 24 races this year. That's ridiculous.
That's
24
awesome.
Races is nothing.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and it's the name of the game for racing in our neck of the woods, unfortunately. So I don't know. That might change for me next year. I'm not 100% sure what my schedule holds, but reality of it is I might not race in Oregon much next year. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It all depends on what late models do. Unfortunately, I wish there was some stability as to what's going to happen. And, we sit here into August, and I have no idea if my race car is worth a dime in Oregon. And reality of it is not. So that's the unfortunate part about our sport. It makes you have to travel, and I don't mind traveling anyway because I think it makes me better. So even though we go get our butt kicked, it's still an experience I would never pass up.
Well, we want to wish you the best of luck. Justin, we are up against the clock right now here on Northwest Dirt News, and we've got to get out, but we want to wish you the best of luck, and we're looking forward to seeing you at the track locally.
Yeah, we'll be back there. We'll be at Lebanon this weekend, so we'll see you guys then.
We'll see you there, sir. We'll talk to you then. And real quick,
All right, see ya. Thank
okay,
you.
good. We'll talk to you later, buddy. Real quick before we get out of here, Joey Tanner says he wants to thank one more sponsor, Crocker's Cars, for helping him out this year and all they've done. We want to thank